# title. Ashes of betrayal. I never thought my life could unravel so quickly. Yet, here I was, standing in the tiny, dimly lit living room of the apartment I shared with Nathan, my partner of 5 years. My hands trembled as I clutched his phone, my chest rising and falling in quick, shallow breaths. The light from the screen illuminated my tear-streaked face, revealing the damning text messages that felt like shards of glass tearing through my heart. I wasn't supposed to see them. I hadn't been snooping. Nathan had left his phone on the coffee table when he went to take a shower, and it buzzed with a notification. Out of sheer habit, I glanced over, expecting a message from one of his friends, or maybe his boss demanding another late shift. But what I saw, "Can't stop thinking about last night," read the preview. My stomach churned. My hands moved before my brain could process the implications. I picked up the phone and unlocked it, knowing his passcode because of course I did. 5 years together. People like to talk about instincts. How you just know when something is wrong. But this wasn't instinct. This was confirmation. The texts were from someone named Melanie, and they weren't just flirtatious. They were a chronicle of a full-blown affair. Dinner dates, nights at hotels, stolen kisses during Nathan's supposed overtime hours. The messages stretched back for months. Months. A deep, guttural ache consumed my chest. It felt like my ribs were caving in on themselves, like the walls around me were closing in. "You're pathetic," I whispered to no one in particular, the words dripping with a venom I didn't even know I had in me. "Zoe?" Nathan's voice startled me. I spun around to see him standing in the doorway, his damp hair plastered to his forehead, a towel slung over his shoulder. He froze when he saw his phone in my hand, his expression morphing from confusion to panic in a split second. "What the hell is this?" I demanded, my voice cracking but laced with fury. I held up the phone, my grip tightening so hard my knuckles went white. He didn't even try to deny it. For a fleeting second, his eyes darted away like he was searching for an escape route. Then his shoulders sagged, and he let out a weary sigh. "Zoe, let me explain," he began, each word coated in that smooth, practiced charm that had once drawn me to him. But now, it only made my skin crawl. "Explain?" I repeated, my voice rising. "How do you explain cheating on me for months, Nathan? How do you explain lying to my face every single day?" "Listen," he said, taking a step closer, his palms raised defensively. It wasn't serious. Melanie doesn't mean anything to me. It was just, "Don't," I hissed. My voice was low, but the anger in it felt like it could ignite the room. "Don't you dare stand there and pretend this was meaningless. You don't spend months with someone, telling them how much you miss their body, if it's meaningless." He flinched at my words, and for a moment, I thought I saw a flicker of regret in his eyes. But it was drowned out by something else. Arrogance. As if he thought he could weasel his way out of this. Like he always did. Like when he showed up drunk at my sister's wedding and embarrassed me in front of my entire family. Or when I caught him lying about where he was after work that one time 2 years ago. And he'd laughed it off as a misunderstanding. Nathan had always been good at talking his way out of things. But not this time. I could feel something shift inside me. Something darker, sharper. I wasn't just hurt. I was angry. No. I was furious. I threw the phone at him. It hit his chest with a dull thud and fell to the carpeted floor. "You disgust me," I spat, pushing past him and storming into the bedroom to grab my things. "Zoe, wait," he called after me. "Come on. Let's talk about this like adults." "Adults?" I yelled, whirling around to face him. "You want to talk about being an adult? Adults don't crawl into bed with someone else while their partner is at home making dinner, thinking they're in a happy, committed relationship. Quote, he didn't have a response to that. He just stood there, his jaw clenched, his arms crossed. I packed a bag with whatever I could grab. Clothes, toiletries, my laptop. I didn't even care if I forgot anything. I was leaving, and I wasn't coming back. But as I zipped up my suitcase, a thought struck me, a wicked, delicious thought that bloomed in the back of my mind like a toxin. This wasn't over. Nathan didn't get to walk away from this unscathed. He didn't get to ruin my life and move forward unbothered. No, I was going to make sure he paid for what he'd done. Asterisk asterisk asterisk. The next morning, I called out of work and sat at my best friend Claire's kitchen table with a steaming cup of coffee in my hands. Her apartment was brighter than mine. Well, Nathan's, thanks to the floor-to-ceiling windows that let the sunlight flood in. I can't believe him, Claire said, her voice trembling with anger. She paced back and forth, her hands balled into fists. 5 years. Zoe. 5 years and this is what he does. Quote, I know, I murmured, staring down into my coffee. My voice was hoarse from crying all night, but my tears had dried, leaving only a hollow ache. I felt like a shell of myself, like a marionette going through the motions. You're better off without him, she continued, her tone fierce. He's trash. Absolute garbage. You can do so much better. I know, I repeated, though the words felt robotic. Claire eventually sat down across from me, her face softening. Are you okay? She asked gently. I mean, really okay? Quote, I hesitated. Was I okay? No, of course not. I was shattered, humiliated, and furious. But there was something else. An ember of determination burning deep inside me. I didn't just want to move on. I wanted justice. I said finally. And I meant it, because I had a plan. Asterisk asterisk asterisk. Nathan worked as a marketing manager at a boutique ad agency. I was all too familiar with the place. I'd attended countless company parties and even helped him prep for presentations. He loved his job, loved the prestige, the connections, the success. But that was the thing about Nathan. He was a person who thrived on appearances. His entire life was a carefully curated facade, and I was about to shatter it. Over the next few days, I gathered my ammunition. I combed through Nathan's social media accounts, taking screenshots of every incriminating photo and post. I dug up emails he'd sent me that contradicted the lies he'd told his colleagues. Like the time he'd claimed to be stuck in bed with the flu when really we were on a weekend getaway. And, of course, I saved every last text message between him and Melanie. But that wasn't enough. I needed more. So, one afternoon, I donned a pair of oversized sunglasses and a hoodie and sat in my car outside Nathan's office. It wasn't hard to spot him. He was standing by the entrance, laughing with a group of coworkers. His arm was draped casually around Melanie's shoulders, and my blood boiled. I snapped a few discreet photos with my phone before driving away, my heart pounding. All the pieces were falling into place. Asterisk asterisk asterisk. 1 week later, I pressed send. I had spent hours crafting the email. It was addressed to Nathan's boss, his HR department, and several of his colleagues, including Melanie. The subject line was simple yet effective. Urgent. Evidence of workplace misconduct. The body of the email was scathing. I laid out everything. Nathan and Melanie's affair, their blatant disregard for company policies, the way they'd flaunted their relationship in the office. I attached every screenshot, photo, and text message I'd collected, along with a few damning observations about Nathan's questionable work ethic. I didn't lie. I didn't have to. The truth was damning enough. After hitting send, I leaned back in my chair and exhaled slowly. A strange sense of calm washed over me. I didn't know exactly what would happen next, But I knew one thing for certain. Nathan's charmed life was about to come crashing down. Asterisk asterisk asterisk. It didn't take long for the fallout to begin. Nathan called me 3 days later. His voice frantic. "Zoe," he said as soon as I answered. "What the hell did you do?" Quote, "What are you talking about?" I asked innocently, though my heart raced with anticipation. "Don't play dumb," he snapped. "You sent that email, didn't you?" Quote, I didn't respond. The silence was answer enough. "They've suspended me," he shouted. "Melanie's been fired. Do you have any idea what you've done?" Quote, "Do you?" I shot back, my voice cold. "Do you have any idea what you did to me? To us?" Quote, "This is insane," he fumed. "You've ruined my career." Quote, "And you ruined my life," I said, my voice breaking despite my efforts to stay composed. "You don't get to cheat on me, lie to me, and then walk away like nothing happened. Actions have consequences." Nathan. He was quiet for a moment. When he spoke again, his tone was venomous. "You'll regret this." "No," I said, my voice steady now. "The only thing I regret is not seeing your true colors sooner." I hung up before he could say another word. Asterisk asterisk asterisk. The weeks that followed were a whirlwind. Word of the affair spread like wildfire, both in Nathan's office and on social media. Friends and colleagues who had once admired him began to distance themselves. Even his family, who had always been frosty toward me, sent me messages apologizing for his behavior and condemning his actions. But the sweetest victory came when I learned that Nathan had lost his job. His boss, it seemed, didn't take kindly to employees violating the company's code of conduct. Without his high-paying position, Nathan suddenly had to face the financial consequences of his actions. He lost his fancy car, his sleek downtown apartment, his social status. For the first time, Nathan had to live without the safety net of his perfectly curated image. As for me, I wasn't entirely healed. Heartbreak doesn't disappear overnight, but with every text, every photo, every reply to that fateful email, I felt a little stronger. And every time I thought of Nathan, scrambling to pick up the pieces of his shattered life, I couldn't help but smile. Survival, after all, was the ultimate revenge, and I planned to thrive.